What's up, guys? Welcome to Merricks Garage. I am back from Fullsize Invasion in Utah. I road tripped the K30 Blazer out to Utah. My family followed up behind in our SUV, so we had a killer time together as a family. And I got to wheel with a bunch of you guys, a bunch of new people, and my Cali crew. So I cannot be more happy to share this video with you guys and show you some of the killer terrain we encountered. Before we do that, I want to remind you to smash that subscribe button. If you are not a subscriber, please give me a subscribe. It helps me out, it bumps me up in YouTube ratings, and helps me spread this message of self-reliance and killer trucks. First day, we went out to Sand Hollow. After we arrived in Hurricane, from driving out to Cali, we went to Sand Hollow, checked out that area, plans to be back to Sand Hollow because it is a killer off-road area in western Utah. We also ran the chute, which is one of their more infamous obstacles. It's a super vert sandstone climb. It's not that difficult, but it's mentally it looks hard. So we banged that out and then cannonballed out to Utah, or to Moab, which is on the other side of Utah, got all set up, and then went and hit Cliffhanger the next day. So in today's video, we've got Sand Hollow and Cliffhanger Trail. Two epic trails in Utah. I hope you guys enjoy this. I got a lot more stuff coming up, so make sure you're subscribed. Stay tuned, sit back, and let's go get it. Merricks Garage.
It was a cold and windy night, but everyone's here who was supposed to be here last night. And today we're going to be going to Sand Hollow and poking around there for a little bit, and then making the rest of the trip out to Moab. A couple of guys got here yesterday and went up and pre-ran, so gonna have a little trail guide there, which will be great. It is cold, but beautiful. Happy to be camping again. Sand Hollow is a pretty beautiful place. Obstacles everywhere. It's pretty much just wide open. First obstacle of the day. This was the first obstacle that we encountered in Sand Hollow, and it was pretty typical of the terrain we were going to be finding ourselves in most of the rest of the week. What made this a little bit challenging was immediately to your passenger side was like a 20-foot drop into this crevice that would have ruined your day. And although it wasn't that challenging, when you looked at it, when you were on it, it felt pretty challenging, which is, once again, pretty typical of the Moab and Utah terrain. There's a lot of off-camber, there's a lot of just uncomfortable moments. No one's spotting him. We're just like, go Carl.
Not spotting him, right? Patio spot?
From one wheelbase extreme to the other. Here we have Carl in his K5 Blazer following up Esteban in his 2500. Probably about 3 feet difference in wheelbase, and that was apparent throughout the trip, as you will see. I've got build videos on both of these rigs, so don't bother asking me questions about what they've got in them. Go check out the videos. I'll link them right up here so you can go get all the information on these killer builds that they've put together. This is also another little area that shows off
Passenger
what
now.
you're going to find throughout Utah.
There you go. Straight down,
a
straight.
lot of
There you
blind drops where you were just reliant on your spotter to tell you where to go because you can't see because it's so steep. But you've got great traction, and so you know you're all good, but it's still unnerving. Here comes my buddy Brian in his LS-powered 73 Blazer on 1 tons. Just gonna let him do his work here and fight the K5 Blazer wheelbase. But take a look at his wife in the background. Just watch her for the events coming up. It's rather entertaining.
That's a heart.
There's a rock right there.
Big rock right here, yeah.
It's like you aimed for it.
I'll go back a little more. You're not gonna make it. And we said Pat likes his skinny.
I'm gonna throw this one at Esteban and ask what he was thinking, not letting Brian know that he was heading straight for a Death Eater of a rock. It's all good.
That's the benefit of building a burly bumper, I guess.
Passenger. You're good. Passenger. There you go. Go down. Drive it. Straighten out. There you go.
This was my first real opportunity to use the Magnum box, and as was par for the week, I played around with all the different combinations, and some of them worked, some of them didn't. So I've got some learning to do as to what axle ratio or gear ratio works for what environment and vice versa. And as you'll see, Moab tends to favor a longer wheelbase, so using the Magnum box to slowly crawl up stuff wasn't as effective as the Moab bump, which is, you know, just enough right foot to get you up on and over an obstacle. You're gonna see plenty of that, just stay tuned.
Okay. Hard.
This is the obstacle that most everyone knows from Sand Hollow, and for a good reason. This is the chute. It is a steep V-notch.
You're bouncing off the walls? Yeah. Was this me chipping this off? Or was that someone else?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's not as bad as it looks from what I'm hearing, but it looks really steep from here. But here's the trick. Here's where it gets kind of crazy. It's hooking your front tire and your rear tire up that. You basically smearing it into the wall. Here comes a big blazer. You're good. Definitely not Esteban's general wheeling style. Look at all the rubber coming off of that rear driver tires. It's just cheese grated against that wall. He employed some different tactics on this approach, but it got him up with no damage, so rock and roll, buddy. We also had a couple Jeeps with us. Their drivers were cool, so we let them come along. the chute. It's Esteban's second time up it now.
Second time. The first time was a little graceful. This time was a little not so graceful. A little too much throttle this time.
Look at all the rubber at the bottom. Yeah. So this is the notorious obstacle in Sand Hollow, although I think there is probably 100 others just like this. But quick little break in the road trip, get back to camp, pack up, head out to Moab. But dude, so far so bitchin'.
Good stuff.
Esteban, where are we right now? We're in Utah, and if you can't tell by my attire, it is cold. It is really cold. And it's gonna get colder because we have a pass to climb, but it's not snowing yet. But I'm basically wearing all my clothes right now.
We're in Beaver, Utah.
Oh, we're in Beaver, Utah.
Beaver, Utah. It's warm on this side of the door.
Yeah. Esteban is a fair weather wheeler. He has to keep his windows up. Me, I like to experience it all. The hypothermia, the heat stroke, all of it.
Fullsize Invasion is an annual event out in Moab, Utah that has been going on for quite a few years. I've had the good luck to be able to attend now 2 times. This was my second time, and it did not disappoint. This is a fantastic event that attracts full-size truck owners from all over the country. There's guys from New York and Rhode Island, there's Texas, Colorado, Washington, I mean, everywhere. And it's not just full size. If you want to come and have a good time with a bunch of guys who know the trails and know how to use their trucks, come on down to Fullsize Invasion. This was a great year. We ran a lot of cool trails, and we had a huge turnout with a bunch of variety here. But yeah, square bodies are well represented, which is how I like to see it. But let's roll out and go hit Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger Trail gets its name from the upper reaches of the trail when you are quite literally on the cliff edge, but that doesn't mean that it is a walk in the park the rest of the way. Literally, man, 50 feet into the trail, you come across the first obstacle, which is just this gnarly staircase step down, and then you hit this guy, this waterfall that you just gotta plummet off. Carl in the white K5 actually broke his steering box on this obstacle, and fortunately was able to wrestle it over to the side of the trail so we could all pass and hit the next obstacle before we got to the gatekeeper. And the gatekeeper had 2 lines. You can take a left line or a right line, and I decided to give it the beans on the right line. On this run today, so we are
taking our time. It takes a long time to get 20, 30 trucks through an obstacle, especially when they're pretty decent obstacles. But it's a beautiful day, getting some light rain, temperatures are good, trail conditions are great, and just look, man. That's sweet. I love this weather too. We are up on Cliffhanger Trail, and I got a few minutes, so I thought I would walk you guys through the shifters again and what I'm using right now on the trail. So currently I'm in 4 low. You can see Magnum box is back in high, rear drive shaft in low, front drive shaft in low. So basically I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between this in low and high all day long. Or I might move these guys back into high and put this into low. Those are my options. But crawling down stuff, I'm probably going to be using this as much as I can. And yeah, that's how all of these work. I know it looks confusing, but it's not really that bad. We got a little traffic jam waiting for this next trail option to open or to clear. And let's get it. Okay, so I have the Magnum in low, 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 low. So as you can see right there, see? This guy's forward, forward, forward. So this is Magnum 4 low, and this is the walking pace. So this is idle speed. So no throttle, super slow crawl, but it just has so much torque that it just walks up everything. It's great. Holy shit.
He's turning this way.
Slow.
Slow. There you go.
Wow.
I'm off-roading. What? I'm off-roading. Driving on the rocks.
Up at the top of Cliffhanger Trail. Took us a while to get up here, but a beautiful trail, bunch of cool obstacles, and a lot of cool rigs again, you guys. Put Fullsize Invasion on your list if it's not already. Great people, everyone's capable, everyone's got good rigs, everyone knows what they're doing. Makes a big difference. In addition to having amazing trails, Moab is also in the middle of a couple of national parks. You've got Arches National Park just north of town. You've got Canyonlands just southwest. And interspersed in between all this is just BLM land. So four-wheeling is open, and it is fantastic. Crawling back down from Cliffhanger was fun. It's obviously a lot faster, and I got to cruise down with my buddy from Gordon Fab and his sweet Plymouth, because who wouldn't want an old Plymouth on a Blazer frame? This build was rad. The driver's a good dude, and he provided a lot of entertainment throughout the week. And there you have it. That's part 1 of Full-Size Invasion 2021. I've got part 2 coming. I'm still working on it, but it is going to include Hell's Revenge and the Pickle Trail and a bunch of other cool stuff. We had some breakages and damage, so I've got some behind the scenes on how we fixed everything. I've also got a sit down with Stephen Watson where we talk about transfer case technology, evolution from doublers to magnums and everything in between. If you have not seen my videos from last time, I'm gonna link them up here or up here. It's gonna be in one of these corners, but it will be my videos from last time where my son and I came out and engaged in the whole Moab experience. If you guys are not subscribed, make sure to click that button. If you're feeling particularly generous, go check out my Patreon page. Throw a couple bucks my way. It helps me keep the lights on and keep making these killer videos. I had a blast, loved meeting a bunch of you guys, and I cannot wait to get back out on the trails. Merricks Garage.